So, how many objects have you touched with your hands today? I'm sure I've touched many of the same objects as you have. For example, probably the doors coming into the classroom, books, and probably these desks. So my question is, how many of you thought about how many bacteria or viruses could be on these surfaces? For example, the flu, a respiratory or stomach virus, or even MRSA, which is a type of staph infection that's very resistant to many antibiotics. So after touching all these surfaces, how many of you then proceeded to eat food, touch your face, your eyes, or your mouth without properly washing your hands first? That's a scary thought, isn't it? Well, I'm here to tell you that you should properly wash your hands. By properly washing your hands, you're protecting yourself from the many infectious diseases that are out in the community. I've been a nurse for just over a year now, and it was not so long ago that my professors were teaching me how to properly perform hand hygiene. So to begin, I'm going to discover the problem of not properly washing your hands, and then explore the cause, which is a lack of knowledge, and then finally I'm going to propose that education is the solution. So to begin, I'm going to explore the problem of not properly washing your hands. Many people don't use soap when they wash their hands. Morbidity and Mortality Weekly Report of October 12, 2012 supports that while many people wash their hands, very few of them use soap. Another example is the American School and University in October 2009 had a survey, and they had 1,020 respondents. And they asked those respondents, how many of you use soap when you wash your hands? 55% of them admitted that occasionally they only just rinse their hands with water. Other people don't wash their hands when recommended. So National Health in 2009 had a study that they did in a university in Canada. And they observed students, and only 17% of those students complied with the recommended hand hygiene. Working in the hospital, I see patients who all the time blow their nose, go to the bathroom, and then they don't follow up with hand washing. So now that we've established the problem of not properly washing your hands, next, let's figure out the cause, which is a lack of knowledge. Some people may not understand the proper time that hand washing is appropriate. The nation's health, which I'm going to refer back to, where the students, only 17% of them were compliant with hand hygiene. They asked those students to self-report their own perception of whether or not they were compliant, and 83 of those students perceived that they were properly following hand hygiene. And I'm going to also refer back to the American School and University. Only 87% of those students wash their hands after going to the bathroom. Some people may not know the skill of how to properly wash your hands. When I go into a public restroom, I often observe other people washing their hands, and I notice that not everybody washes their hands for the recommended 20 seconds. They also may not take the time to grab a dry paper towel to turn off the faucet, and by doing that, you're recontaminating your clean hands. So it appears that a lack of knowledge could be the reason that people aren't properly washing their hands. So my proposed solution is to educate. We can put flyers around public facilities, and these flyers would recommend the proper times to wash hands, as well as to remind people how frequently they should be washing their hands. If you go to www.cdc.gov, which is the official Centers for Disease Control and Prevention website, which was last updated on December 11, 2013, they recommend that you wash your hands before preparing food, before eating, after going to the bathroom, after sneezing or coughing or blowing your nose, after you touch garbage, or after you touch an animal. Another way to educate is by having videos. I recommend that maybe public bathroom facilities should have a video demonstrating the proper way to wash your hands. People could follow this demonstration, and that way that would promote proper hand hygiene. This video would also include key points that Taylor, Lillis, Ramon, and Lynn demonstrate in the fundamentals of nursing. And some of these key points include making sure that your hands are below the level of your elbows, you wash 1 inch above your wrist, you make sure that you scrub for 20 seconds, and that when you rinse your hands, you make sure that the water flows from your forearm down to your fingertips. You want to be sure to grab a dry paper towel and start drying at your fingertips, working your way up to your forearm. And then you want to take another dry paper towel to turn off the faucet. So while it's impossible to keep your hands clean the entire time, it is possible to properly wash your hands at the right time. So in conclusion, I hope that I've made you more aware of how to properly wash your hands, and I hope that you'll include this in your daily lifestyle. So tonight we've discovered the problem of not properly washing your hands. We've explored the problem, or the cause is a lack of knowledge, and we've recognized that education is the key. So hand washing hopefully isn't a new concept to anybody, but hopefully now it'll be as easy as saying your ABCs. So the next time you go to grab food, or if you go to touch your face, your eyes, your nose, take the time to properly wash your hands.
Very nice.